Hello. Oh my goodness. I'm really excited to talk to you. I had been watching YouTube, trying to eat my food. I made this honestly a couple hours ago. Tuna. But I guess my stomach feels kind of weird, so I was eating it very slowly. Do you want to see my hat? It's corduroy. It's super cute. But do you want to see my glasses? These are Sunshine. They remind me of Elton John. That's why I got them. Oh, okay. Well, it's currently almost 3 a.m. And I have to wake up for work tomorrow at, I think I have to be there at 10. So I did a workout tonight at like maybe 10 o'clock. So that didn't take any caffeine, but it still affects my ability to sleep. I have leave-in conditioner. I'm gonna use. I was watching some little. Sorry. I was watching some bits from. I want to talk about all the things I saw on the internet today. So I was watching some things from the Hunger Games. I think with the writing of Suzanne Collins, as well as Margaret Atwood, I mean, even the writings of Tolkien, less so Tolkien, less so J.K. Rowling, because they've made fantasy worlds. But when it's a fiction world, fantasy world, that is dark and similar to us, like The Handmaid's Tale or The Hunger Games, even like Divergent, more so The Hunger Games though. I remember watching Margaret Atwood talk about The Handmaid's Tale one time. It's interesting to watch, like, Caesar Flickerman, who's the man in The Hunger Games who interviews the tributes. So if you don't know what The Hunger Games are, I'll explain briefly. Most people do, but some people don't. It's a fantasy fiction world where once a year, children from the age of 12 to 18 are pulled from all 12 districts of this country and put in an arena to kill each other until the death. And they're children, and it's done as a way for the capital of the country to maintain control and fear over the districts. And it's really sad and really inhumane. And Margaret Atwood is famous for a lot of books, but one of her most noteworthy books is The Handmaid's Tale. And that book is about, or that world is about, a world in which the United States has been taken over by men, mainly men. But the issue in the world is that fertility rates are down a lot, and their women's bodies aren't able to reproduce, and it had to do with several things that were made up. It's a fiction fantasy. And so what they do in this world is they basically take all of the fertile women and enslave them to be baby machines for the elite rich and the elite rich's wives, because the elite rich men often don't have wives that can reproduce, because not a lot of women can. And the women are just objectified and used, and then their babies are, they're raped, and then their children are taken by, after they're born, and everyone pretends that the rich elite woman gave birth. And it's very much what used to happen, and where handmaids came from, which is, there were women like that who were kind of like just having sex with the king, and then the queen would pretend like she gave birth to like 10 children when it was other women doing the work. And those women would just be erased and seen as useless other than for their body. And I only bring up The Handmaid's Tale and The Hunger Games to talk about the writer of The Handmaid's Tale. And she said she didn't want to write anything in her books, specifically The Handmaid's Tale, that hadn't been done somewhere, sometime in human history. And, people read her books, and she didn't want them to say, wow, what a horribly twisted mind you have to create this horrible world where horrible things happen. And she wanted it to be kind of like a mirror of like, this isn't my twisted mind, this is how humans are and how they've treated each other. And when I was a really little boy, I used to read like pages and pages of information about the Holocaust, because it really intrigued me. And I would remember reading about different people and just seeing the wickedness of humans. And specifically, I remember looking at how gay men were treated, because I was in the closet as a little kid, and I learned how the pink triangle became like a symbol of gay identity. But I think, I grew up in a wonderful, wonderful place, really educated, with a lot of intelligent people, and a very beautiful part of the country too. And it was in Washington State on the east side. There's a tiny little town called Walla Walla. And I didn't spend all of my childhood there, but a large part of it. And I just remember watching a stage show at one of the theaters for Anne Frank, and that's what got me into learning more about the Holocaust. And I don't know, it's made me obsessed. Like, even learning about the Hunger Games, I think it's the same theme for me, where people, draw connections all the time between the Hunger Games. Specifically, like, people will look at the Met Gala and how in the Hunger Games, the people of the Capitol dress up in like these gaudy, outlandish fashion outfits, and how it's kind of resemblant of the Met Gala. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a person to label things as bad or good and see things as that's the bad guy, that's good guy. I think humans are so much more complicated than that. But the Met Gala, I absolutely, like, I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's cool. I like the fashion. I like everything about it. And I can also see how there's such a contrast with these sometimes tens of thousands of dollars poured into costumes to wear for one night. And there's also a juxtaposition of starving people and desperate people and suffering. And it all exists in the same bucket. And, you know, it is what it is. One person who goes to the Met Gala doesn't have any control over the world. And some people will argue with me about that, but your control as an individual, regardless of how much wealth you have, is still not very big. And there are concepts of unity versus independence. Unity being more feminine, independence being more masculine, not in terms of what men want to be and what women want to be in a sexist way, but in terms of energy. Everything's got an opposite: up, down, right, left, front, back, black, white. Black is feminine, white is masculine. Darkness is feminine, light is masculine. Competition and individuality is masculine. Unity and compassion is feminine. I'm a very feminine person, and I'm a man. But one person at the Met Gala, like if I were ever in a place where I could go to the Met Gala, I'd take it. And people would give backlash and say, how dare you go to the Met Gala because you have all this money and they're starving people and they're suffering people. And the truth is, like, the human experience is full of the entire spectrum, from the best experiences to the worst experiences. And at the end of the day, it's not black or white. Unity is a part of the human experience. We're not apex predators as mammals. We evolved and developed because of our ability to work in unity. Global unity, I don't know if that's a part of how humans are supposed to be, but it's certainly something that we want in modern day. But evolutionarily, we evolved for unity within like a group or a small tribe or whatever it's called in nature with the monkeys. A cluster of monkeys. A big group of monkeys, okay? So unity is important, and that femininity is important. That compassion and understanding that we need each other and we love each other and we are no different. That's true. And regardless of whether it contrasts, the other truth is that independence and no one's coming to save you and you have to figure shit out by yourself, and no one has responsibility for you except for you. You can't expect the world to be mommy and daddy for the rest of your life. You need to pick your fucking shit up, get the fuck out there, be independent, be liberated, become the person you were meant to be, get fucking rich, get fucking successful, figure out your purpose, monetize that purpose, rise, and don't take responsibility for any fucking one else but yourself. You're taking responsibility for everyone else but you. And you wonder why you're crying and complaining all the time at the state of the world. Maybe you should take ownership of your own life first. That's what we learn from the opposite side of the spectrum. And both of those things can be true simultaneously. Like how Elphaba and Glinda can both be evil at the same time and both be pure. Even though narrow-minded Aussians will see one as wicked and one as good, when you watch Wicked and understand the story, it's about derailing this idea that things are black and white. It's a narrow, unevolved, low level of thinking, and it goes for everyone. Whether you're very, very liberal or very, very Republican, conservative, if you just think in one way and think the other way is wrong without understanding how contrary beliefs can actually, and contrary ways of thinking can be true at the same time. Like, we need each other, we love each other, we are no different, and also, I'm responsible for me and no one fucking else. And I can be a more service to the world by taking full responsibility of me and rising to my highest potential. You know, taking the circumstances I've been given, regardless of how they compare to other people's. No more excuses, and making the most and finding meaning in my life. Money is not a real concept. It's an expression of value that we turn into paper, but most of it is digital. If you know the value that you bring to the world and you can find you as a person, the way you bring value, there are millions of ways to bring value to the world. It could just be by existing. It could be by healing yourself and sharing that story with others. It could be by creating something, writing something, creating products, doing services for other human beings. Being a leader is valuable to others around you. That can be paid. Teaching is valuable to others, can be paid. You understand? Everyone on this fucking planet can be rich. Money is just a fucking illusion. And over time, we can shift to a place where everybody in this planet lives abundantly. We certainly won't forget the darkness of the human experience. I hope we never do. But we could all live in a world where we're going to the Met Gala once a year in our own communities, okay? And there's no war, no. And it starts with acknowledging both truths, that we need each other and you're responsible for you. This is going to be a big eclipse season for me. It's starting. 3 eclipses. I'm not exactly sure what zodiacs it is, but yeah, eclipse season is always a big season for me for change. And I've graduated college. I got a job. I have a business. I've done all of this publicly on YouTube. And I think I'm ready to step into this next chapter. I want to tell you something. Suzanne Collins published The Hunger Games when she was 50 years old. 50. I've thought about starting to really double down and get serious about my writing as I approach 40. And I sort of committed to myself that I wanted to spend the younger years of my life doing things that were movement related, because I love movement. I love dance. I want to be a dancer. I kind of want to do go-go dancing because it's just so fun. Or stripping, whatever you want to call it. I like being a personal trainer. trying to, as I'm stepping towards my 30s, trying to figure out what I want to do to get money, get rich. Because getting rich, everyone can be. Everyone deserves to be rich. Everyone can be rich. There's no finite amount of resources. You're not taking from someone else's pie by giving more, getting more for yourself. You're really not. So I'm trying to take ownership of my money and find my way to wealth while also doing something that's purposeful to me. And personal training and starting my business have felt like that. I've been writing a book. It's a series of books since I was about maybe 12 years old. And I will never share the details of this book. But what I can tell you is it's fantasy. And it's somewhat spiritual. You can bypass the spirituality if the audience is uncomfortable with it, but there's a lot of undertones of spirituality. And not just like, we praise the Lord Jesus Christ. That's definitely like thematically there. This different theology, but it embraces like the concept of how we have made meaning of the world around us over centuries of time without pushing people to choose something that's right or wrong. And I don't want you to think I'm writing like a super blasphemous spiritual book. There's just concepts in it. The concept of the book itself is kind of like, even the world is kind of like higher thinking. And it's hard to, yeah, it'll be really good. And I am trying to learn from the best. Because if you want to write something great, you have to study the greatest writers. And for me, I mean, in the genre of the book that I'm writing, that would be Tolkien, that would be Rowling, even Suzanne Collins. I love Margaret Atwood. Those stories are a bit darker than what I had imagined for mine. And even Maya Angelou, although she was a fiction writer, has left a big impact on me. And Shakespeare and Poe. Poets. I like poets a lot. Anyway, that's why I bring up kind of like the Hunger Games and all that, is because like, yeah, I think it ties into why I feel like writing is a purpose of mine. Got a bunch of cards here. But yeah, my life is really good. And my school is over. I'm grateful for that. And man, it was hard. Now I need to just focus on making money. Like, that's the whole reason I went to school, was to make money. Now it's go time to do that. I've been thinking I want to move to a different country, just because it would be ignorant of me to ignore how dangerous things have been becoming in the US over the past 10 years. Subtle and dangerous. You know, you would have to be really ignorant and stupid to not recognize. And history has a way of repeating itself because human beings are more alike than they are unalike. And unfortunately, with humankind, we're fearful of each other. We're fearful of our differences. We're judgmental. We're self-serving, egotistical, and wicked sometimes. And it's so seductive how evil can start to build and it just sneaks up on you. It sneaks up on many people until it's right there. I read a little story about, it was the 11th Hunger Games, which if you don't know, there was a tribute called Mags who won, and she was from District 4, which is the fishing district, and she is the old woman who went into the 75th Hunger Games with Finnick, who was a handsome young man from District 4 who won at like 14. But Mags, reading the story, it was like, I don't know, reading all of the Hunger Games is just really sad because they turned it into this entertainment spectacle, and these children are just traumatized and killed, and it's like horrific. And Mags, like, there was a boy from District 5 who set out to kill her. And before the game started, he like broke her. There's a boy and a girl from every district, and the boy was Mako, was his name. And he got his arm broke by sort of a brutish bully before the game started. And Mags spent the whole time in the games, like taking care of him and making sure he was okay. And she like made a cast for him and found a way to catch water for them. And she didn't have a lot of fighting skills, but she was resourceful. And in the end, it was just a few of them left, and the big bully guy came and tried to kill Mags, and Mako kind of got in the way and got killed. And I don't know, just something about like Suzanne writing about the children screaming and the horrific ways they die. I specifically remember reading and rereading when Glimmer died in the first book, who was a beautiful girl from District 1 who got stung by a bunch of bees and basically swelled up and died. And it was horrifying and just nightmarish. And these things are like, maybe not the bees, but things like this are real. And it makes me think about, like, I don't know, Tolkien said one time, like, I can't remember what age it was, maybe 25. He says, like, by the time I was 25, all of my friends and closest friends to me were dead. And I don't know, like, you can see in his writing how he sort of explores the darkness of the human experience. And through it, he creates hope. And I guess that's like one of the biggest things right now, isn't it? Because the human experience is very dark. Unless you're very privileged and shielded from the darkness, and you grow up in a place or a family where you can be removed and deal with trifling things. Or maybe you're in a family that pretends to be privileged and happy, but there's a lot of wickedness in it, like growing up in a rich family, but one of the parents is a narcissist or psychopathic, you know? Even Maya Angelou, I mean, her best-selling book was about her as a little fucking girl getting assaulted sexually and then finding her voice again through poetry. And what's worse, I think, is that the man that assaulted her was brutally killed, horrifically, in a horrible way. And that traumatized her even more because for her, she was, of course, horrifically traumatized by that, and also didn't wish for her abuser to be gutted and, just killed in an awful way. And that kind of goes to show like how good she was. And her story is about that too. Finding hope in a dark world. And, I guess that's the through line with a lot of these great books, because the human experience is really dark and we have a lot of limitation, and we only have really our egos, and we don't know anything else, and we can believe what we want, but at the end of the day, there's not a lot of substantial evidence to believe there's more out there. And so we feel like we're alone on this rock, floating with each other with war and pain and poverty and difficulty. And it's hard to find meaning. And that's why literally tens of thousands of people end their lives every year. Wars are started, So maybe that needs to be where I come in. If you want to know more, it's 12 books, so it's a lot of books. It's a lot of fucking books. It's daunting. It's scary. But I know it's 12. There's sets of 4. Yeah. But I understand it's probably going to take up my entire life. All of the things I've done in my life until I write will be things that I continue to do, like exercise and dance and all that. But yeah, the story is important, and I know no one can write it like I can. And I know it's really, really good. But I just do a little bit here and there. I'm not in any rush. I thought about maybe I should get more serious about it At least, like, maybe you dedicating a good amount of time to writing. But that could be a good idea. Sometimes I just daydream. I prefer to do that. I haven't ate any of this food. I loved my videos. Saw one video from like 3 months ago when my hair was really short. I kind of miss short hair. It just looks so good. What's exciting too is, you know, in 20 years from now, even 30 years, the world of cinema will be very, very different. I know authors don't often get it much when it comes to turning their literature into film. But it's kind of cool to think about that something I could create from my own mind could inspire something like that. I hope I'm gonna get a man. What I want is a man with a job, okay? I want him to have a job and have decent character and good hygiene. And I want him to like spending money on me. I want to be his favorite pastime to spend money on, okay? What do you do in your free time? I spend money on my boyfriend, Pan. I take him places, I do things with him, and I love it. I love every second of being with him and want to be with him all the time. And I got the money to afford it. That's what I want. If he looks really pretty, oh God, I don't know. I guess I'll take pretty. If he's pretty, it is what it is, but I want to look prettier. Okay, just a little bit. Well, that's pretty much concluding what I wanted to talk about. I've been doing a lot, and I've been really happy with everything in my life. And I upload all the time. I'm gonna keep doing that. And I don't really care if videos blow up or don't blow up, like who cares? I'm here to post it on the World Wide Web, okay? And the only thing I need to focus on is making sure my videos get a little bit better over time. Which probably means I need to fucking edit. Which I don't like to do. I got many, many things that I wanted in the past 6 months. 6 years especially, but 6 months. I asked for all of these things. I wished for them. And I received many fucking wishes come true. A lot. I graduated with a 4.0 throughout my entire time as a college student, by the way. And I don't know, just like I started a YouTube channel. I started posting gaming videos, which I've wanted to do for a very long time. I got a couch. Very lucky. I got a new cell phone. For free. You know what? I've thought about this before. Professional big time actors, professional big time singers. You think you want that when you enjoy singing or acting or dancing. But I believe those come with a cost that we don't often see. I think there are so many people, especially young people, who grow up in the spotlight, who wonder what their lives would be if they could have been ordinary. Especially when you're developing your sense of self and your frontal lobe is developing, like, to be ordinary. With an ordinary mom and an ordinary dad, and not to be scrutinized and seen by tons of people before you're maturity-wise ready, if you ever are ready. As long as you feel comfortable being seen, it's okay. But I think young people, it puts a different sort of twist on your development. And not to say you can't, process that and work through it, but on top of that, looking at the Hunger Games, oh my God, the amount of physical injuries that happen to these actors, which makes sense for an action movie. I mean, but even the fucking Wizard of Oz. Didn't fucking Margaret, the Wicked Witch of the West, catch on fucking fire and burn? I've worked for people like this, in a smaller sense, in the entertainment world. And that there's a cost. I worked for a guy that once in a dance piece who he wanted the other dancers to throw me in the air. And I was young and I was like, oh, it'll be fun. Because I trusted people. But I could have got seriously hurt or paralyzed. It was like 5 feet in the air. He pushed me too hard one time and I injured my neck. It was like 3 years of physical therapy to heal. That was a horrible choreographer. He later ended up being harassing to young boys in the dance department, and including me. And I filed a report, a complaint. It went nowhere because he was twisted and manipulative. And a few years later, he got his head bashed in with a hammer and bled to death on his bedroom floor. And he had a track record of doing horrible things to horrible people. And he died in a horrible way, which is what he deserved. Unfortunately. Karma has a way of catching up to all of us. Reminds me of President Snow. Because he was going to get shot in the chest by an arrow by Katniss, and she didn't shoot it. And instead, she shot President Coin. And a mob of people ran up to President Snow and probably mauled him to death. That's crazy. He was a horrible person. Whether you're horrible or a good person is decided by the actions you choose. Has nothing to do with what you say. So, maybe Glinda the Good is good. Because her actions and character change through the story of Wicked. And by the end, she's doing things that are noble. She's acting in a way that is kind, that is passionate, and humane. And that's good. So I think Glinda is one of my favorite characters in, I'll say literature because she was there first, but really story writing. Because she's your typical blonde, mean girl, and she turns into someone really good. But I'm gonna eat this thing. It's peach. So I have to go to work tomorrow as a personal trainer. I think it's to do paperwork. I'm really excited. I'm really happy. It's difficult to figure things out by myself, but I have God, okay? God's here. I don't have people to help me with like adulting or finances or anything. So it's difficult. I can ask for counsel from my parents and they'll give it. But everything has been done pretty much by me. It's raining. Yesterday, I drove to the other side of town. I parked. I went to this ice cream place for frozen yogurt. I made, was like marshmallow, s'mores, and vanilla all into one. I put strawberry goby on top, coconut and chocolate sprinkles. I ate it outside, alone. And then I went to my car. And I sat in my car and it started raining. And I held my hand out the window. And I had the windows open. And I let the rain come down into my vehicle. And it made me emotional. Because it reminded me of home. And not the gloomy sort of depressing rain people often associate with Oregon, Washington, and Michigan. But it was fragrant and healing. Almost went into a restaurant called Tootsie's, which was really close. But I had on like a tank top and a baseball cap and shorts, and it's a nice Italian restaurant, and I just felt like I don't want to go into this restaurant if I don't dress up. To look like the restaurant's brand. Not that I need to wear a fucking Mario outfit or something. No, but I mean like, it's a nice Italian restaurant. Maybe I could go into Olive Garden like that, but not this place. You want to look at some tarot cards before I go? I'm very excited about this new future. We can ask some questions. I actually usually pull 5 cards. So why don't we do that? Okay. So I need to shuffle. We've been going about 50 minutes, and that's okay. I'm going to shuffle for you. Do you want me to back you up so you can see? I don't think it's going to work very well. No, you can't even see the cards. They're right here, though. I do want to wear one of my hats, though. And no matter how I try to, and no matter how I want to, and no matter how easy things could be if I did, and no matter how guilty I still feel saying it. I wish I hated you. It's an Ariana Grande song I really like. I'm very happy about my life. I'm very proud of my life. I'm very cutthroat with who I allow into my innermost circle, because I have been through fucking hell and back and dealt with a lot of pain, and there were very few people by my side, less than what can be counted on one hand. And as I change from a person who has nothing physically, no money, no success, no career, no life, no friends, no popularity, to someone who has everything I've always wanted. Some people want to get close to you because they want a piece of your materialistic success. That's called fake. I want real. So the people that were with me from the beginning are going to stay. See what's on the top. The Five of Swords reversed. And the bottom is the Ace of Pentacles. This is not good. This is not a good combo. This is a new beginning, usually in career or business. And being reversed can mean that new beginning in career and business is getting a little bit sabotaged. And here I am, supposed to be up at 10 a.m. tomorrow, and it's probably 3:30, 4 a.m. in the morning. And this is my big opportunity to be a personal trainer, and here I am, not sleeping. The Five of Swords reversed. This is often a card about betrayal. I'm getting the feeling that this is self-betrayal, right? Because you think about it, it's like you believe in everyone's dreams except for your own. When you don't show up, you're proving and showing to yourself that your dreams don't matter. And that's what I'm doing to myself right now. But, I love talking to you. It's like one of the best parts of my day. My weeks, videos just like this, regardless of what time it is. So, but the cards aren't wrong. We have the Nine of Cups reversed too. Another blocked blessing sort of thing. Okay, we're gonna start my reading for the month. We're going to see what comes up. Angels, guides, and deities. I'm asking for your help with pulling all the best cards for me to understand what I am stepping into for this next moon cycle month, and how I can best harness the energy that's coming in and overcome any obstacles. Thank you. In the name of Lilith, Hecate, Michael, Odin, Aphrodite, Medusa, Nox, Apollo, Iris, and Mercury. We're ready. and my grandpa, and my grandma, and my other grandma. Okay, what's coming in this month for me? Fuck yeah! Fuck yeah! Fuck yeah! Bitch. Oh. So we pulled the sun. That's the best of the best. And then there were hidden cards underneath it I didn't even see. So that's interesting. So, sun, wish fulfillment, everything you want, feeling on top of the world, being really happy, joyful, good, 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 good. Okay, the sun is coming in. All of my dreams are coming true. And, surprise, surprise, under the surface, the difficulties that come with all of my wishes is the risk of burnout, which is the Ace of Pentacles reversed, the risk of burning out, and the High Priestess reversed, which is blocked intuition. How does blocked intuition coincide with the sun? You're so focused on the light, you're maybe not doing the shadow work. Is that it? I'm going to look at the High Priestess reversed really quick. Keeping secrets. Oh, hidden agendas. Not paying attention to your inner voice. I do that. I do tend to do that. Especially when things start to get good. I will ignore the red flags. That's probably what that's talking about. And then the Eight of Pentacles is almost always about burnout for me. Burning out or giving up. Sporadic output. Oh God. I'm getting called out here. The universe is saying, you're going to get all your wishes, but you need to be fucking consistent and stable. And you need to listen to your inner voice. Fuck you, universe. No, I love you. Okay. All right, next card is what's growing. This is the waxing moon card, okay? What's growing this month? We have already got a card. I kind of want to see what this is. Oh, the Queen of Cups reversed. What is this? The Chariot. Huh. Wow. Okay. Everything I want is coming in this month. Everything. Chariot is a wonderful card. It's also the card for Cancer zodiac. It's about harnessing opposing energies, yin and yang, and being catapulted towards your desires. And that's what's happening for me. All of my wishes are coming true. I think I need to stay clear on my vision board about what my wishes were and are and have been, so that I can remember as they're coming in that this is what I wished for. But yeah. Again, when we pulled the Queen of Cups reverse, that's giving me, it's very important for me to listen to my intuition right now. Yeah. Very important. Okay. Next card is what's going to require the most energy. And this is for the full moon. So most energy for this season, this month. And we have one card pop out. The Eight of Swords reversed. Upright with the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. So the Wheel of Fortune reversed tells me there's so much valuable, lucky things happening to me, but I'm getting caught up in complaining and the difficulty and the whining, right? These blessings are still here, but I'm going to choose to look at how hard things are and how trapped I feel and how difficult and woe is me. It's disrespectful to the guides, angels, and the universe for all of the good shit that it's brought me. Yeah, it's going to come with difficulty. We don't live in heaven. We live on planet Earth. And even when you wish for things in a very positive way, like I want a beautiful house in the French countryside, you will get that. If you wish for it long enough and put in the work, you will get that and you will get there. And in your mind, when you wished for it, it would have been a beautiful country house. And you live there, and it's paradise, and it's heaven, it's fun. And then you arrive in it, and you have to deal with property taxes. You have to deal with maybe internationally living in a place that you weren't born, maybe complications, paperwork, working towards citizenship if you need that in order to get the property. You may have to you'll have to deal with plumbing, you'll have to deal with electricity, you'll have to deal with infrastructure, you'll have to deal with maintenance of the house. And all of this difficult stuff that comes with your wish fulfillment. It exists with it. And you can get wrapped up and swirled up in the difficulty, or you can understand the difficulty is there, but it doesn't have to consume you and swallow you. And you can be like, this is fucking sucks and it's hard. And also, look at all this beautiful stuff I have. Look at all these things that I wanted. I'm living in something that was once a dream, and now I have that dream, and I'm grateful, right? And this is not a call out for you. This is literally my cards for my month, so that's what I need to do more. I have a tendency, and the reason is, this is my dad. My father is very much like this. My mother is very much like this. My mother is very realistic. She gets really wrapped up in the negativity and gets tired from the shit of the world. And that shit sort of envelops her and sweeps her away. And she gets caught in her own anxious thoughts and all of that. Versus my dad is like beamlessly optimistic and hopeful and positive, and sometimes doesn't always see the truth of a situation, and so can never validate you when you're in pain, like my mom can. But the point is not to choose, but to realize this is an opportunity for liberation, actually seeing the darkness, not burying it, but seeing it. And then this is imperative to allow blessings to come in. Because if you can't see them and be happy for them when they're there, are you ever really going to feel like you've received a blessing? So balancing that is going to be very difficult for me this month. And next is what's leaving. This is the waning moon. There's a card. There's another card. There's a big one. Okay, we have the Princess of Pentacles, the Tower, and the Temperance card. Tower? Ooh. And the Queen of Swords reversed. So the Queen of Swords reversed is a sharp-tongued woman. Who is a sharp-tongued woman in my life? Who? I think I've eradicated all of those women from my life. I really do. They don't stay long when I identify them. Maybe it's that way of thinking. It's usually complaining, negative, pessimistic, mean. That way of thinking in my own mind, that is leaving this month. And then the Star is leaving. The Star is a beautiful card to see on the leaving because This is like the wishing card. You're wishing on a star. You're hoping, waiting for a wish, holding out for someday. What a beautiful pink too. Beautiful light, beautiful pink, beautiful purple. The reason this is a positive, beautiful card to receive on something that's leaving is because what it means is I'm no longer going to be in the wishing. The wishing is over. The receiving is here. So I no longer have to experience what the wishing feels like, and I can experience what it feels like to actually have it. And my negative thoughts around everything are also going away. Last card is hopefully just one. Give me one card, God. Okay? The best card to represent what is the core heart of the issue for this month for me. What's the core heart? Well, that card came really quickly, and I think I'm going to take it. There's another one I'll take a look at. Ooh, and the Tower on the bottom. Okay, interesting. We get the same character twice, so that's definitely a sign. The Knight of Swords. And there he is again in a different card. The Knight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow. The Seven of Swords. You don't, so the Seven of Swords is very clear. You don't have to tell everyone your fucking business and your plans. I have a love of sharing all of my business and all of my plans on social media and YouTube, but you don't always have to do that. You can sometimes just make moves. That's something Beyonce said. Don't talk about what you're gonna do. Don't look at what someone else is not doing. But you, do it. Do what you want to do. Be what you want to do. Be it, do it for yourself. And that's the message. He also has a crossbow on his back and a motorcycle he's running towards. I would love a motorcycle. I want a motorcycle. The Knight of Swords is about getting what you want with haste. Very much like a Mercury sort of card. We've got the King of Wands too. The King of the Jungle. The resilient, powerful, generous, kind, passionate king. This king is not born, he's made. Through resiliency and life experience and becoming Simba or Mufasa, not Scar. Because they were both all born, the same as lions in the same pride. But the difference between Scar and Mufasa is nobility and the ability to not succumb to ego and wickedness, but to rise up to be the king you were born to be. Never identified as a king, but I identify with that story of resilience, perseverance, and finding the light. Then we have the Seven of Swords in the back. Do it quietly. I'm going to post this even though basically the message is telling me not to share all of the things I don't need to share with other people, but we're going to post this video still. The Tower on the bottom. The Tower is the Tower of Destruction. It's a card of destruction and chaos. It comes up when everything's falling apart. So I think what I need to do is surrender because it's eclipse season. Many things fall apart so they can all come together in a better way. during eclipse season. So I have a feeling that's going to happen. Let's stay until 1111. So we got about 1 minute left. I don't know what to say. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to me. I'm grateful for anybody that chooses to listen to my videos. I know I'm not like really skilled at editing. I don't even bother editing some things, and there are still people that watch me and like me, and that means a lot. Now we have a little bit of time left. It's going to be 11:11. What am I going to wish for? I wish for a rich boyfriend who's obsessed with me and loves me, and a fat ass. Okay, maybe not. Maybe just like a good, nice ass, okay? And a healthy body. Okay. Anyway, bye. Thanks for watching.